So I went searching out videos for you. Okay, and I'm also going to give you a systematic method of teaching numbers. Why am I talking about this? Because I noticed that babies in your classroom, in your nursery, were having a problem with identifying numbers. They looked morose. What that means is that you quickly can tell that there's a problem somewhere with the teaching, either the method or whatever, but it's not just sinking. And even from the way the teachers were sounding, I could tell that they didn't quite understand how to. It was a bit of a challenge to get the message across to those children. How in the world do you teach numbers if you haven't taught it before? Do you teach a child who does not know numbers at all? How do you begin to teach a child numbers, bring that child from one point of not knowing to the point of learning? Now, the truth is, if they continue like this, if your teachers continue like this, the children will still learn. Some of them will still pick up something, yeah? But it won't be smooth, it won't be seamless, it won't be sure, it won't be excellent. There will still be areas where they are shaking. So we want to be sure that when they learn it once and for all, they learn it. As soon as they're on it, they learn it once and for all. We want to be sure that we establish that. And the only way we can establish that is if we teach it with strategy, if we teach it with a system, not just you come into a class and they give you your scheme of work and you start to follow it week by week and timetable. You follow it week by week, but you don't have a system. You should be given a system. How do I teach it? From where do I start? So that even if your scheme of work has a problem, your scheme of work is not quite right, you can amend it so that you can work with your children. One thing I'd like them to notice in all these videos is the excitement with which they teach. We don't teach babies the same way you teach primary school students or the same way you teach secondary school students. We teach babies with excitement. As a matter of fact, call their names every now and then. In fact, nursery school and primary school teachers, they're actors and actresses. I don't know if you've heard it before. It's a thing amongst nursery school teachers and primary school teachers. They have to be actors and actresses. They have to be animated. Like cartoon, they have to turn themselves to cartoon just so that you can get across to children. We can't be so serious when we're teaching children. We can't use lecture method to teach children that age. We can't. So we have to use play-based. And some teachers, because they don't know how to loosen up, even if you give them toys, even if you give them manipulatives to teach children, they will still turn it to lecture method. So we need to break down that thing and know that you have to be like a child to teach a child. If you see all these people here, all these teachers here, all these examples here in all these videos, one thing right across them is the fact that they can be childlike. In fact, there was one video, I didn't download it because, it wasn't a short, it wasn't a reel. Reels are shorter. It was a full video, a very long video. Up to half of the video, the man was still playing. Meanwhile, the thing was 30 million views. Up to half of the video, the man was still playing with the children. He hasn't even gotten to the teaching. He was trying to open in an envelope, and in that envelope is probably a number. So he wants them to identify what number. Maybe he wants to say, "What is this?" Then let them say number 1 or something, But he was wasting so much time opening. Oh, he would try and drop it. He would drop the envelope. He said, "Oh, it's going to bite me." And the children were so excited. Up to half of the video, I'm talking about this video is up to 2 hours long. Maybe I'm exaggerating, maybe up to 30 minutes long. Up to half of this video, this man was still playing with the envelope. He still wasn't bringing out the thing. I got tired, and lost interest and left the video. But that's because I'm an adult. The children were so excited. So you see, within 45 minutes of class that you're supposed to teach a child, in some classes it's 30 minutes, some is 45, depending on the school. Within that time frame, you have to do drama. You have to use animation. You have to be animated. You have to be excited. You have to be, excited. You have to show yourself that you're happy about, you have to show happiness. You can't be teaching children and they're so still. Children that age and they're so still. It tells me that the children are not being as expressive as they should be. Possibly because their teacher doesn't know how to loosen up. Or some teachers know how to loosen up, but they're not sure they're allowed to loosen up here. So they need to know that they are free. That management expects them to loosen up. But loosen up not to the point where you loosen up and then you play and then the children are not learning. Use that play to teach. Just in case there's anybody else here who has the same need but hasn't come out, to say. I'm also going to give you a document on the systematic way to teach numbers. God bless.